Coming up on Broncos Connected, wide receiver Tim Patrick relives the Broncos' back-to-back wins over the Jets and Patriots and shares what it'll take to make it 3 in a row against the defending Super Bowl champs. We'll show you how legendary voice of the Denver Broncos Dave Logan and the KOA radio team have adjusted to calling road games from home. And learn how cancer has affected members of the Broncos organization and what you can do to support those who fight like a Bronco. Broncos Connected is next.
And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Empower Field at Mile High. Locke avoids a rush, throws to the end zone. Touchdown, Denver! If you're not excited about this, not sure you're alive.
Welcome to the UC Health Training Center for the October edition of Broncos Connected. I'm Alexis Perry. At this point, the Broncos were supposed to be 6 games into the 2020 season with a Week 8 bye on the horizon. However, after Denver's Week 5 opponent, the New England Patriots, announced multiple positive COVID-19 cases in their building, they closed their doors and the NFL pushed the game back to Week 6. From their Thursday night game against the New York Jets to their most recent matchup Sunday against the Patriots, the Broncos waited 17 days to return to the field, the longest work stoppage since the 1982 players' strike. After all was said and done, the Broncos made the wait worthwhile, beating the Patriots at Gillette Stadium for the first time since 2006 and posting their second straight win. Here's a look at some of the best moments from the Broncos' back-to-back victories this month.
Nice night in New Jersey. Wish we were there. 64 degrees. Wind out of the southwest at 7 miles per hour. Dave Logan and Rick Lewis here in Empower Field at Mile High. The Broncos on the road at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. Last game 17 days ago. By the way, that's the longest gap in franchise history. So Rick will have a chance to see really the best part thus far of the Broncos, and we'll see their defense against Sam Darnold. It is good to get Drew Lock back. It is good to get Philip Lindsay back, and it's going to be exciting to see what this Broncos offense can do. Sam Darnold at quarterback, 6'3", 225. Cam Newton averaging over 4.3 yards per carry on the season. Hit before he can throw it. It's slammed to the turf back at the 48-yard line. Blitz in the wing, a quick throw middle of the field, caught, and inside the 20, inside the 15. That is another sack. Josie Jewell's second sack of the game. Deshaun Williams with the interception, and Broncos defense with their second interception on the season. Patriots losing for only the 31st time at home since 2000.
The Broncos are 2-3 this season and are carrying a lot of confidence and momentum heading into their Week 7 matchup against the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday. Hopeful that players like cornerback A.J. Boye and tight end Noah Fant can return to the field this week. Wideout Tim Patrick is coming off an impressive performance against the Patriots and is optimistic he and his teammates will continue to build upon their success so far in October. Matt Boyer spoke with him.
Patrick spins around and walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Denver. Locke loads it up. He's got a receiver there. Patrick makes the catch.
Tim, back-to-back wins for the Broncos, but back-to-back 100-yard games for you. You know the value of team success. I know you value it more than individual success, but how nice is it when those two things line up like they did these past couple weeks?
It lines up great because you can actually appreciate it, because 100 yards is good, but if you lose, you can't really be happy about that because it wasn't enough. And back-to-back 100-yard and back-to-back wins, man, I can't ask for more.
You've made a ton of plays this season, but the deep throws, I want to focus on the deep throws, those plays of 20 yards or more. And I wanted to know how far back that skill set extends for you. So we went past Broncos, we went past Utah. We're going to go to Grossmont. All right, we're going to pull up some of your freshman year college footage. We found the film. When you're looking through that, the first couple of plays I'm looking at, you were mossing people back then, Tim. So you picked that skill set up, and how do you think that's contributed to your success as a receiver?
I'm a tall guy. I played basketball. I was good at rebounding, so I've always been good at high-pointing balls. And as a young receiver, honestly, I was just no technique. I was just out there just making plays, honestly. Literally just making plays. I had no technique. Every coach that I had said I was wild, I was hard to coach, so they just let me play because it worked for me. So I was just out there having fun. And when I got to the league, that's when my technical side started coming into play.
So we found some of your basketball tape. Some guys are like, yeah, I used to play basketball, but you were impressive, Tim. Some dunks, three-point shots.
I was a slasher, defensive guy, and then if I hit a couple of jump shots, I got hot and started shooting more. But most of the time, I was just trying to dunk on people. That was my thing, bringing energy and dunking on people.
Patrick goes up over the top and makes a great catch. Tim Patrick with his first catch of the year, a gain of 38 yards.
It's been about 12 months, Tim, since you came back from that hand injury last year, but ever since then, it's just been constant improvement. Why do you think you've had such a productive rise ever since coming back from injury last year?
I would say just sticking true to the grind, honestly. No really days off, and football, everybody in this game, everybody feels like they're the best. And I just felt like my confidence just kept getting better and better with the more plays I made. And it just got to a point where I knew I could be something good in this league. I just had to show it. And honestly, you just got to believe in yourself. We've all been playing this game our whole life. And if you think you could do it, you could do it, man. But like if you're down on yourself and you're negative, it's not going to go your way.
You face a Chiefs team this weekend that has bested the Broncos consistently the past couple of years, but this team, it seems like there's a resiliency, there's a grit to it that maybe we haven't seen in years past. Do you think, why is this team, ready to take on the Chiefs, or why is this team the one that you believe can kind of break that Chiefs winning streak?
We never give up, man. We're tired of losing. We're tired of being called the Broncos from the past 2 years. It's just time. It's time to make a change, and it starts this week by being the Chiefs. We are on a 2-game winning streak, but this is a conference game. This is the Super Bowl champs, and this is a team that beat us the last 9 times, and that has to end this week. Because if we're gonna show we're a different team, we got to beat them.
Well, a couple of 100-yard games the previous weeks have equated to wins. I'm hoping another 100-yard game is on deck this Sunday. Tim, best of luck against the Chiefs this weekend. We'll talk to you soon, all right?
Thank you, man.
With the postponement of the Broncos and Patriots game by a full week, the Broncos' 2020 schedule has been altered and is still subject to change. The Miami Dolphins were supposed to be the Broncos' Week 6 matchup. However, that game has been pushed back to November 22nd. And instead of that original Week 8 bye, the Broncos will now face the Los Angeles Chargers on November 1st. Both games will be played at Empower Field at Mile High.
Still to come on Broncos Connected. We'll take you inside the KOA radio booth for a Broncos road game here at Empower Field at Mile High. And later, learn what it means to fight like a Bronco as those who have been affected by cancer share their stories.
Welcome back to Broncos Connected. This season, everyone from the players to the coaches, support staff, and even the fans have had to adjust to the ever-changing circumstances surrounding the NFL and COVID-19. And the Broncos radio team is no exception. When you turn on the radio during a Broncos road game, you still hear legendary play-by-play voice Dave Logan and longtime analyst Rick Lewis on the airwaves. But instead of calling the matchup live from the game site, they're hundreds of miles away in an empty Empower Field at Mile High. Boy, that creates some challenges.
We're not allowed to travel with the team, which is disappointing but understandable, right? When I'm with the team, I mean, I take the first bus with the team and then go down underneath the tunnel, and we are dropped off in the bowels of the stadium, and then I get an elevator and we go upstairs. But if you are to go commercial and then have to go through all the protocols, if something would have happened with somebody's temperature being checked, that they would not have been allowed in the game, let's say the engineer, we would have been in a real predicament. Or maybe me, if I would have not have been allowed in the game, who would have done play-by-play? So I think when it's all said and done, that was probably the best choice of a bunch of lousy choices.
Dave Logan and Rick Lewis here in Empower Field at Mile High. The Broncos on the road at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough with a 12-3 third quarter lead.
We are calling the games from Empower Field at Mile High, and we're calling the road games from the Broncos home stadium. And so I use the TV feed that people at home are watching. To my left, I use an all 22 feed right in front of me, which never leaves the field. And so I try to match as best I can, looking at the all 22 from a distance and then looking to see what people at home are watching and just kind of bounce back and forth while trying to describe the game in the same manner that I normally do, with a little excitement, even though I'm not actually at the game, which it's just the way it is, but it is a bit of a challenge. I think it's also a challenge, honestly, from the standpoint of calling the game off two monitors, right? Because the monitors are showing different things, for sure. The monitor that people watch at home on TV, that might not be showing, they might be showing a coach on the sideline because the two TV broadcasters are talking about that specific coach. Whereas, I've got to set the play when the teams come out of the huddle. So the all 22 in that regard is beneficial for me. It's a great crew. I mean, Eric Hood is the engineer. He's about as good as there is in the business. Alan Jackson is the producer. Just does a great job. My partner Rick Lewis, Susie Wargen normally goes on the team as well. Does the color from the sideline with a sideline presentation. So it's a really good crew. It's a crew that we've worked together for a long time and you have a real comfort level with. And so I never have to worry really in terms of, are things going to be set up right, or can I hear, or what's the buzz? I mean, all of that. Those guys are so professional and so good at it. What I have to do is just get myself ready to try to present the broadcast as best I can, and try to again, the biggest challenge for me is trying to remain in the moment, trying to create some excitement from a game that I'm not even watching. It's much easier here at home, obviously, but when you're doing a game from an empty stadium, calling the game on TV, you want to make sure that you continue to remind yourself that, hey, stay in this game and get excited even when it's normally not the case.
Safety blitz on the way. Newton in the pocket. Hit as he throws, loads it up, and it's incomplete. Denver's defense with a huge stop.
Coming up on Broncos Connected, several Broncos share their personal stories about how they've been impacted by cancer as they hope to raise awareness about the disease while supporting those in the fight of their lives.
Welcome back to Broncos Connected. October is crucial catch month around the NFL as the league's initiative attempts to raise awareness of the many forms of cancer and the benefits of early detection and risk reduction. The Broncos take this initiative even further with a year-long Fight Like a Bronco program. The all-inclusive campaign focuses on prevention and screenings, provides support for those currently battling cancer, celebrates survivors, and remembers those we have lost to this disease. Cancer affects us all, including these Broncos who help deliver stories of compassion and hope.
My great aunt, Freddie, had breast cancer, and she, I just saw her whole battle, her whole fight through it.
It was Thanksgiving, and my mom got a call, and the whole family was there. We didn't really know what was going on, but she just asked my brother and I to go outside.
I lost my mom at an early age, and I seen how that affected my family, to my dad, my sister, my grandma, things like that. So it definitely impacted me.
My sister was diagnosed with leukemia. And so as a kid, just pretty much spending about 2 years straight in and out of the hospital with her, The hospital pretty much was home for a while, and just seeing what she went through and her fight with cancer, as a kid, not really being able to live a normal life.
And I remember walking back in maybe like 30, 45 minutes later, and there was just like a massive prayer circle around my mom. You don't have many of those like heart-dropping moments as a child, but I just remember thinking like something's wrong again. And that's when we were told that the breast cancer came back, and that it was more aggressive this time.
Shortly after my sister was in remission, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. I was about 7 at that time. And again, just seeing, the fight my mom went through, all of the chemo, in and out of the hospital, losing their hair and stuff like that. It was a real struggle, and it took a toll on my family.
She just knelt down with my brother and I and said, I'm gonna stay, I'm gonna fight, I'm not leaving you.
You see them fighting every day. Even though they may not have any energy left, or they may not have any fight left, they're not gonna give up though, because they're fighting for us, they're fighting for their families, they're fighting for everyone around them that cares about them, loves them, and wants to see them through it.
As an NFL player, we have a lot going on. It could always be worse, but you never know what somebody is going through, especially outside of this building. I just want to be a beacon of hope for that to help them. No matter what, you're going to face adversity through life, but just don't let the setbacks define you, and just keep moving forward.
I think we're all affected by cancer in some kind of way. So I think that's something that we all can relate to. So for the league to kind of get behind that and to do so much with it, I think that was huge.
The more cancers that we can represent, the more cancers that we can get the word out about, and it really can draw attention to. It's only going to do good in the future.
I know what it's like, to see your sister or your mom or parent or anything, struggling and going through that fight. So for me, it's about affecting their lives. Just letting them know that they're not, in it alone.
My message really is just to keep fighting. You're not alone. There's times you're gonna think you're alone, you don't know what to do, and the biggest thing is just to have that support, and just to know a person like me is always supporting a family no matter what battle they're going through, especially with cancer.
I definitely encourage, your routine checkups for the women. Definitely, get those routine mammograms, and, just try to stay on top of your health.
There are ways to have that early detection, have that support, have just a community of people behind you. It's very empowering. And, I work in healthcare. I went into healthcare because of my mom. And I know that we're a long way from finding a cure, but I know that it is in the future. And one day we are going to live in a world without cancer. And I am so excited for that day.
If you would like to get involved with the Fight Like a Bronco campaign, go to denverbroncos.com/community/fight to learn more about prevention and screenings and how you can support those battling this disease. There are also ways to celebrate survivors and remember those who fought like a Bronco. You can also go to dbron.co/fight to purchase a Fight Like a Bronco t-shirt or make a donation. 100% of the sales benefit the American Cancer Society and will provide screenings to underserved and underinsured communities right here in Colorado.
Coming up after the break, Kareem Jackson is back with another episode of K-Jack TV as he asks his teammates some hard-hitting Halloween-themed questions.
Thanks for sticking with us for this final segment of Broncos Connected. The Broncos may be social distancing, but they're definitely not antisocial, especially when Kareem Jackson asked them to join him on K-Jack TV. Justin Simmons, Bradley Chubb, and Jerry Jeudy recently joined Jackson for a Halloween-themed episode that's sure to lift your spirits.
Since it's October and Halloween is close, I got a Halloween question for you guys. What was your best costume as a kid?
Best costume? For sure, I was the Blue Power Ranger. I forgot how old I was, but I was the Blue Power Ranger. I was probably the best one, had the whole fit going.
I only dressed up one time in college. They threw a little Halloween party, and I was like a little scary clown.
Little scary clown. Okay.
Yeah, that's the only thing I had.
My best, Chubb took my best one, man. I was the White Ranger. You know the dude with the gold plate. Gold plate
I
on
remember the White Ranger. Like, what was the candy that when you went trick or treating that you looked forward to as a kid?
Oh, the cookie and cream Hershey.
Okay, that's a staple right there. You gotta look for that.
I had the cookies and cream Hershey with the full size Snicker bar. I like the Tootsie Rolls, all that.
Had them Crunch bars. Me on that had the Crunch bars.
No, bro.
Crunch bar.
No chance.
You don't grab those. You get those away.
He would trick or treating in an old neighborhood, man. He didn't get no modern candy.
Crunch bars, man.
Speaking of bad candy, what's that one thing you get in your trick or treat bag when you get to the house and it just pisses you off? What was that one thing?
Candy cane. Not the candy cane, the little orange. That's
candy corn.
Candy corn.
Somebody candy corn.
Yeah, candy corn.
I hated the candy corn.
That's all the time we have for this October edition of Broncos Connected, but don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Broncos TV and stay connected with the hometown team on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the Broncos 365 app. We'll see you right back here November 14th for the next Broncos Connected.